You always look like a star. I always look from afar. Too shy for your type, so when you said hi, guess you took me off guard. And you just laughed at my shyness. Felt like I was meeting her highness. Cause you were always a queen, made me feel like a king. And now here we are, yeah. And we ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. No matter what we've done, we put love in it. We ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. So when the storm shall come, we're still loving it. Each other while the whole world is leaving, bleeding, feeling forgotten and sinking even. But the waves are crashing on us. That breathing's getting harder.
Doing a video.
Try to stay above the water.
Hi, Spike. I like the waffle.
When we collide, yeah. Hey. We ain't worried about nothing.
I'm watching this.
We ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. No matter what we've done, we put love in it. We ain't worried about nothing.
You know he can hear you.
We ain't worried about nothing.
Oh, can he?
We ain't worried about nothing. Let the storms come. They're still loving it.
Wait, is our video? Can you hear me talking right now?
Yeah.
Holding my breath until I crash into you. Holding on tight, you're the type that makes me move. When we collide. When we collide. Come on. Holding my breath until I crash into you. Holding on tight, you're the type that makes me move. When we collide, we worry about nothing. We worry about nothing. We worry about nothing. When we collide.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Vanguard. For Muhammad, Spike Cohen, Shaker, I am Matt Wright, and together we are traversing the muddied waters of freedom. Yeah, we don't have an intro yet, so
Yeah, we need to work on the intro.
We definitely
we're traversing this intro together, actually.
Right. I was like,
hey,
I was waiting to hear the voice, and I was like, oh, there is no voice right now. So it was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, we'll just.
That's good. We're doing a great job so far.
I know.
I'm very happy
I mean,
about
we're starting out with a bang. To everybody, first and foremost, thanks to Grassroots Kava House for the kava that I'm drinking on this show. And normally I would say Bula. So for the water that you got from Kroger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bula to my Kroger purified drinking water, reverse osmosis water.
Absolutely,
Bula.
That Grassroots Kava, completely different from the other brand. Yeah, so welcome to the Muddied Waters of Freedom, Spike. I mean,
thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, you've been hosting your own show now for quite some time. 2 months.
I just had episode 10, or episode part 1 of episode 10, which was like my mega episodes that I have.
10.1.
10.1. So I'm having so I've been at it for just over 2 months now. I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to I know I'm filling some big shoes right now, trying to being the new host in Muhammad's absence. And by large shoes, I mean that he actually has large, I guess, monstrous feet. And so
I was like, I think he wears a 10.5. I'm not even 100% sure on that, but I don't think it's anything all that. I don't think his shoes are like huge, but I mean, as far as the Muddied Waters go, his shoes are almost unfillable.
Well, that's, I'm going to see what I can do. I can knee into it and see if I can maybe get some leg in there and fill that in. So I'm going to do my best. And moving forward, I'm not going to talk during the intro. And I think that's a big part. On my intro, I have the mic off. And so I talk during the intro. So I won't do that. I'll be nice and quiet. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is all brand new setup for me as well. So everything is just a little bit off.
We're being told that we need to turn Spike's input up. His voice is low.
Okay. Let's try that. I mean, you have to talk, otherwise.
Hi, I'm Spike Cohen.
I like how we're telling ourselves that we need to turn up your input.
The Muddied Waters of Freedom is telling the Muddied Waters. Well, we're a family here. We're a production company, and we're live beta testing our own program.
Right.
So that's good.
It is. So normally, we kind of go about and talk about what we've done over the past week. But you and I, I know that you and I have spent the entire week.
What have you done this week? I've talked to Matt Wright about 4 hours a day. Right. Actually, what I've done.
I speak to Spike a lot. If I'm not talking to Spike, I'm talking with Caleb.
Or my wife. If you're not talking with me or with Caleb, you're talking with my wife.
That's true.
And if I'm not talking with you, or I guess Caleb, I'm also talking with my wife.
And I'm still not 100% convinced that you aren't pretending to be somebody else for your wife.
That's not me throwing my voice.
Right. Right.
Super high pitched. I can't hit those octaves. Yeah.
Super high pitched and saying sorry, sorry.
Sorry. My wife's Canadian, for those who don't know. So it's a running joke how she talks, which is funny because she doesn't even have that strong of a Canadian accent, which makes it funnier when I bring it up and she's like, people don't know I'm Canadian until you say it, and I'm like, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. As soon as somebody says sorry, I know where they're from.
Yep, that's a real subtle one.
Yeah, Jim Carrey played in Liar Liar. He's a lawyer in L.A. or whatever, and one of those,
right.
And at one of the points, he's like, "I'm sorry," and I was like, "Oh, that's not L.A. That's not the L.A. accent on that one there, Jim."
Yeah, I didn't even know he was Canadian until I think I watched an A&E, behind the talent thing or whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, born in wherever in Canada." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know that."
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
It does.
So other than talk to me, what did you do this week, or was that pretty much it?
I finished my fiction book.
Yeah, you got your book coming out.
Yeah, I got my book coming out. It's going to be coming out in December, I hope. I'm waiting on the guy that's doing the cover to get me the cover back, but he does great work, so take your time. I'm not trying to rush you by talking to thousands of people. But I'm waiting on that, but the formatting is now completed. Everything is done. I sent it back to the editor one last time just to make sure everything's okay. But I think that everything, it looked good to me. Of course, I've been staring at it for 4 or 5 hours a day for quite some time.
Right. Cool.
So yeah, it should be coming out in December. And you can go and like that page on Facebook at facebook.com/can you keep a secret novel. for anybody that wants to, and that way you get all the updates.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the comments.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Man, that's like
type that on their phone. Facebook.com/what?
Can you keep a secret novel? Because oddly enough, Can You Keep a Secret was already taken.
Oddly enough. Let's see. I just want to make sure I put it in right. Does that come on? There we go. Can you keep a secret? And the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Is that a Furby?
No, that's actually the guy that's doing the cover. That's that was his original cover.
Those look like Furby eyes.
They do look like Furby. They also look like the eyes that the book is of the girl that the book is based on.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
So that's probably more ideal than Furby.
Right. Yeah, I sent him a picture. I was like, "Yeah, I want the eyes to look like that," and he went, "Okay."
like very large doe eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you weren't speaking with me or your wife, which I'm certain you spoke to your wife more than I spoke to your wife, what were you up to?
Believe it or not, I only really didn't speak with my wife much more than you did. So I did not do a lot. Pretty much just talking with her and you. What else did I do this week? I had crab legs.
Oh, you are such a bad Jew.
I'm a terrible Jew.
Awful
I have
Jew.
been kosher since my anniversary when I had lobster. So I've been kosher for 10 months. I was a good Jew for 10 months, and I kept the Sabbath and everything. I was a good Jew.
You were a good Jew.
I was like a solid Jew for a minute there.
And then you threw it all out the window for something that I can't even have.
Wait, I thought you just can't have shrimp.
I can't. No shellfish.
Oh, you can't have any shellfish.
No.
Oh, see, I feel way worse now. I thought I was sharing with you, like, hey, I'm a bad Jew, but hey, crab legs, am I right? Like, right. Oh no, I thought it was specifically shrimp. No, that makes much more sense.
Yeah, no, it's just shellfish in general.
Well, then I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry to you and to God.
It was. I was like, man, he is just rubbing it in that even though he's Jewish, look what I can do. I may go to hell, but we don't believe in it. So
but I can do it.
I can still do it. You can't.
Oh, see, yeah, no, I wasn't trying to rub it in your face. I thought that you only couldn't have shrimp. So I'm like, hey, fellow crab eater, look at me. I'm Spike Cohen. But see, now I feel bad.
No, you're fine.
I actually feel worse about that than I do about the not being kosher part.
I almost sent you a picture of bacon the other day, so don't feel too bad.
But you know what? Go ahead and do that. Be like, oh, bacon's good, right, Jew?
I'm making a
bacon is really good.
Bacon is really good. Yeah, I'm gonna make a bacon and ham sandwich.
That's quite a pairing too. Bacon and ham, they offset each other's saltiness with more saltiness.
That's right. More salt. That's all you really need. Is it too salty? Add more salt. You'll be fine.
Exactly. It's the what's it called? The thing where if you have whatever. So yeah, if you add more salt, it becomes sweet.
That's right.
You overload your taste buds until it's umami, or what's it? Umami?
Unani.
Umami.
Umami. Unani.
This is so salty that it's umami. I don't know what umami is. I just know it's
right.
It's not salty.
I don't know what it is either. It's not anything that.
I don't think it's a real thing.
It's probably not.
Pointy Hebrew. I'm looking at as you may have heard during the intro. I've decided I'm going to engage the audience more. That was going to be just something that I said to Matt, but now everyone knows. So I am now actively engaging the audience, and I have a comment, Pointy Hebrew. Thank you. Thank you. I presume that's presume that's me.
I would imagine.
I don't think you're the Pointy Hebrew.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's directed at me. I mean, maybe,
you never know.
Maybe, possibly. Yeah. So, lots of big news actually came out this week.
This was a big news week.
It was a big news week. Personally, I think the biggest news that just hit this week was the rap battle in between Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly.
definitely the single biggest thing to happen.
And if not the single
past.
biggest, it's definitely the single most important issue to hit.
Like all of these other things a year from now won't matter.
Right. No.
But this will. This will change the game,
Yeah.
the landscape of things.
Yeah. I mean, as I've seen on Facebook, this probably isn't going to come as a big shock to many people, but not the biggest hip hop guy. Yeah. I mean, I know that when you look at me, you think that guy
is hip hop.
Yeah, he is the second coming of Eminem. He is hip hop incarnate, but that's actually not true. I can only truly name Eminem songs, and maybe some Run DMC if I try real hard.
Right.
But from what I've learned on Facebook is that this is the rebirth of hip hop. And that rap is back because of this of these rap battles going on between these two.
Because of this specific rap battle.
Because of this specific rap battle.
The one between
Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly.
But the one between Pusha T and Drake, that didn't register on the bringing back rap scale?
Apparently not, no.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I didn't know about that one. So obviously
this brings rap back in that Matt is aware of it.
What's funny is I heard the song, the Eminem diss song, and I had no idea it was about Machine Gun Kelly.
Well, that's the thing. Well, and it was about a few people, right? Like it was a typical Eminem, I'm going to diss like 38 people in a single song.
Yeah.
And make them all mad at once. So like, it wasn't specifically for him, which is why we were talking about this earlier. You said who won this battle. And my answer is that I don't know, is my short answer. My longer answer is I don't know, but he also hasn't really responded specifically to this yet. Eminem hasn't. So I'm going to give him a chance to actually put out his own dedicated to Machine Gun Kelly song before I decide, because I know that's important to everyone, what I think about this rap battle.
And it should. Like
it should. It matters to me what I think.
Right. And I mean, what you think matters to me, because when it comes to rap and hip hop, I go to you for the advice.
I'm aware of rap and hip hop.
Right.
I'm actually a huge.
It is.
That's like almost exclusively what I listen to is rap, hip hop, reggae, and Latin music. Throw that in sometimes. But and African dance music. Big fan of the African dance. No, and you're laughing, but I actually do listen to a lot of.
I'm not actually. I am zero. There is zero shock on my end about that.
About the African dance music, I'm very cosmopolitan.
It's funny because you listen to a bunch of music I don't.
Right. my genres are what Matt doesn't listen to.
Right. And Muhammad, his genres were what Matt doesn't listen to. Like, if it doesn't have a mandolin somewhere in there, I'm probably not listening to it.
Yeah, you told me that. You're very much into the in touch with your feelings music.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, if it doesn't make me either want to cry or kill myself at the end of it, I'm like, I don't want. Why would anybody listen to it?
Oh.
Like Dashboard Confessional. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but Dashboard Confessional, greatest band of the 21st century.
And now I have to listen to it because you said that.
I mean, it's really it is whiny teen angst music at its best.
Yeah, my music isn't angsty; it's more hostile and talking about crimes, various crimes being committed. So, but the thing is, I don't really
breaking
keep up
somebody's heart is a crime. Just
well, you know what? Yeah. That's a good point. So
know.
that's the most gangster move of all.
It is, because
you're
destroying that person to their core.
To break a man's heart is I did 20 for for smoking a bitch. Well, I broke a man's heart. Like, oh wow.
Oh, you win.
You're a terrible person.
Awful. But
I don't really follow like rap music day to day, because most rap music made after, I don't know, 2010, 2011 is utter garbage, and that ratio of good rap to utter garbage seems to go down. The utter garbage seems to take over more and more each year. I assume through attrition as the older rappers retire and die. And like I can't do trap music or any of that. So whenever I hear like, "Hey, did you hear about the new rap thing?" I'm like, "No, probably not. I didn't. I'm listening to what I listened to as a teenager. I'm listening to stuff from 1997 and stuff like that, Wu-Tang and Wu-Tang and
Biggie.
Yeah, Biggie and Tupac and Rockefeller and the Fugees and all that stuff.
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
What's that?
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Bone Thugs and Harmony, all of that stuff. And so when someone's like, "Hey, did you hear about little old 60 Takahashi?" No, I didn't actually. And I wish you'd stop saying words to me. Right. But no, I'm not a huge Machine Gun Kelly fan, but he did. I'll be interested to see how Eminem responds, because Eminem like cut his teeth doing battle rap, so I got to give him a chance. But he's like 50 now, so there's a lot of things to unpack there.
I think he's 44.
He's getting up there. He's been rapping for, I have no idea how long he's been rapping. Like 20 years, 20 something years, 20, 25, 30 years, something like that.
I think the Slim Shady LP came out in 1998.
Nice. So 20 years that, and he was doing it before that. So like 25 years this man's been rapping.
Right.
And frankly, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. So we'll see how that goes.
I agree. While I enjoyed the Machine Gun Kelly, because I watched it, because it had been shared 42,000 times, and it was kind of hard to miss it.
Right.
So I figured I would watch it, and I was like, oh, that actually wasn't half bad. And then I was like, man, Eminem is he's gonna destroy you, man. I almost feel bad for you.
Yeah, I tend to think that his response is going to be pretty brutal, because that's what he does is battle rap. But I don't really know enough about Machine Gun Kelly to tell you. But Eminem is not, you may or may not get this reference, but Eminem is not Drake. Like, he's not going to have a battle rap done against him and then shrug it off and be like, "Oh, well, I'm Eminem." I don't see him doing that. So,
right.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Zero segue on this one, because I don't. Eminem lives in Detroit. Machine Gun Kelly lives in Cincinnati, I think. Another hellhole, California.
Speaking of California,
a completely different hellhole. So California, this actually happened back in May.
Okay.
But some people from Uber and Lyft sued Uber and Lyft because they felt that they were not getting paid properly. And it went through the court system, and the California court said, nope, if these people are driving cars for you, you have to treat them like employees instead of independent contractors. And now all Uber and Lyft get paid like 15, whatever the California minimum wage is, $15 an hour, I think.
Was this a state court or a federal court, or you don't know?
State.
Okay, so there's a lot of appeals that I'm sure are going to happen, because the entire ride-sharing model is based on you're not our employee, and like we're telling people that you are available to do this, and if they want to do it, then they can pay us, and we'll send you off to do it. But you're not like our employee, and we're not paying your, because the minimum wage is just the tip of the iceberg. There, you've got they'll have to match their Social Security taxes, they'll have to match their income taxes. If depending on they'll have to keep track of the hours that they're driving and possibly pay their health insurance. Like, I mean, the model dies if which I'm sure the taxi unions would love that to happen. But if you like ride sharing, this would effectively kill it, or it would make it so expensive that you might as well like hire a limo.
Right.
So that will be interesting to see where that goes.
Well, actually, while yes, like it's going to destroy the entire ride sharing industry in the state of California,
right?
But the ruling put down actually affects all independent contractors in California.
Oh, wow.
So massage therapists, people who work in salons, real estate agents. I'm trying to think of other industries where that's like mainly independent contractors who work out of a business. But all of these people now have to be paid an hourly as opposed to the way that it was being done before, where they would have their clients come in and they would sell things to the clients or cut the hair or do the nails, and then the clients would then pay.
Right.
Like all of these industries are now changed.
I mean, I'm just thinking real estate.
Oh yeah. As a former real estate agent, you were going to pay me $15 an hour to sit there and like try to get a client?
Yeah, because I just looked it up. So the statewide California minimum wage is, as of right now, it's 11 an hour, and I think it's scheduled to be scaled up. In San Francisco, it's 15 an hour. What will happen, obviously? California will eventually be. I'm reading this as I'm doing it. It will eventually be 15 an hour. It's like scaling up. It's ratcheting up each year. So the whole real estate, and you know this, you were in real estate. My mom owns a real estate company, and and is broker in charge.
She's the HBSC.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
She's the head broker in charge.
Head broker in charge, exactly. Of course, that's what you meant. And so, I mean, the whole model is if you can sell lots of real estate, that's awesome. If not, then that's not awesome for you, but not, we might be we might have you in an office, or we may be paying quote unquote for your, phone and stuff like that, your the amenities that you're using, but you're not getting paid unless you get paid particularly for what you produce. And it is a very, I guess, libertarian business model, because it's like you can be a millionaire, multi-millionaire from selling real estate, or you can be broke. And it really depends on how good you sell, how well you market, how well you negotiate, your connections, all of the things that would make one a successful real estate agent. But there are a lot of people that get into it that don't have connections, but they're good at selling and they work their way up. If you make it where I'm a broker in charge of a company, or I'm the owner or whatever, and I have to get real estate agents, and I have to pay them the whatever the minimum in South Carolina, it's the federal wage, whatever, it's $7.25 or whatever.
I think it's $7.75 now. I'm not.
Yeah, $7, whatever it is. Yeah, I think it's $7.25 or it's $7 something. But I also, again, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I have to match your Social Security. I have to match your payroll taxes. I have to, and you now have to pay payroll taxes. You're no longer getting 1099, so you pay higher taxes too. And I now have to keep track of. I don't know. I don't want you working long hours to sell real estate anymore, because now I have to pay your health insurance. Right. And what that'll work out to is, I'm only going to get real estate agents that are established and are making money. So what this really works out to, and it's not just real estate, it's every one of these, including ride sharing or taxis or whatever. Unless you're already established, they've created a very high barrier to entry into any of these things that, sometimes, broke people that, just have a lot of, spunk or whatever, and work hard, are able to work their way up. You've now completely, once again, created yet another barrier to entry that ensures that, we talk about welfare inequality or income inequality. These things happen when the government gets in place and says, okay, we're not going to let anyone above, it's sort of like having one of those must be this tall to ride the roller coaster or whatever. They're basically saying you must be this established for anyone to actually hire you. Right. A real estate company isn't going to hire the same people at, $11 an hour plus this, plus that, plus this, plus that. They're going to keep their most established real estate agents, and that's it. And it's ridiculous. So hopefully that gets knocked down.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, but it's California, so I don't understand what's going on in that state even a little bit. But they've essentially made it where it's harder for people with no experience to get jobs. And not only that, they've just increased the price of everything.
Yep, everything just went up. Real estate, it'll be a little bit easier to absorb that, but not.
I mean, so the people that are going to feel it in real estate are going to be the sellers, because now commissions are going to have to get higher.
Commissions are going to have to go up, yeah.
Commissions are going to have to get higher because there's going to be more admin fees and office fees and that kind of stuff, because they now have to pay everybody in the office. So that means instead of having a 6% commission, we'll say, even though there's no set commission across the United States, it's 6%.
There's no such thing as the 6% that we all charge, and
right. That's not price fixing, because we can negotiate it.
It's not a standard; it's a baseline. Right. This is usually around what gets charged, but
in California now, that 6% is going to have to jump up to like 70%.
Yeah,
and that means that like the sellers are then going to be hurt. So yeah, it doesn't really hurt the buyer as much, but it does hurt the seller on how much they're going to be given up out of pocket and how much profit they get back after they sell their home.
It honestly depends on if it's a buyer's or seller's market. If it's a seller's market, they can just add it to the price of what they're selling it for. If it's a buyer's market, then the seller gets, screwed. And I have a feeling, with these types of regulations, as the rate of people leaving California is higher than the rate of people entering, or at least the people that have money leaving, that's probably not going to work out well for the sellers. So, I mean, all this stuff, when the government, in the name of fairness or equality or whatever spook they put up to justify their intrusion in the market, every time they do something like this, they just make it worse for the very people that they were supposed to be helping.
Right.
And because when you scare away money, there's less money, believe it or not.
That's very strange.
It's odd. It's like, I hate you. Get out of here with your money. Where are you going? And when they go to Texas,
wasn't it Margaret Thatcher that says the biggest problem with socialism is that eventually you run out of somebody else's money?
That's the thing, right? Yeah, it's a great. It works. It works really good for that honeymoon period where everyone's stuff's being seized and everyone gets free stuff. It sucks for the people that are having their stuff seized, but and this is more of a the bureaucratic state than true, seizing the means of production socialism. But it's really any move in that direction. Anytime that the state says, we're gonna interfere more in this, you're just, it's you keep ratcheting it up until eventually one day you look back and go, where did all the rich people go? Or actually, it's not even that, because the super rich, they like this stuff because it destroys competition. And so they actually like these types of things. If you're a real estate agent that's pulling in 8 figures a year, you're happy right now because your boss isn't going to blink at paying your $11 an hour and your health insurance or whatever, because they'll just take it out of your commission or whatever, and it's a drop in the bucket. What this effectively does is eliminate the upstarts that could be taking some of your business. They're fine. It's the people that are in the middle and the people that are trying to get up in life, who aren't just trying to live off of California's lavish welfare system, that get hurt and that go somewhere else. They go to Texas. Right. Hopefully they remember why they left California and don't import it there.
Yeah, but you already see, like in states like Virginia, that they don't, because all the people that are leaving like New York and Connecticut and Massachusetts, and they're moving down the coast, they're going to Virginia and they're voting for the same things that they were trying to leave.
Right. I'm in Myrtle Beach, so we get a lot of Long Islanders, a lot of New Jersey people, we get a lot of Ohio people, and I used to be shocked, but I'm not anymore, when they'll come down here and the first thing they'll say is, everything's so cheap here, and my property taxes are 1/10 of what they were up there. Yay. And then they're like, why isn't there public transportation here? And why isn't there? And they start like listing off all these things that we don't have. And I'm like, that's why your taxes are that low. Right, and they'll name, or they'll say, oh, that's against the law back home. It's like, yeah, it's not here. And you moved here. So that's how it is here. And a lot of them will turn around and vote for the one that, promises the most stuff. And it's like, what part of, like, you just fled a state that has, the highest in everything, highest taxes. Even Texas has, I guess, either no or a very low income tax, and their sales tax is not that high, but their property tax is like rape. Like it's terrible. And, I don't know. I don't get it sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Florida's property tax isn't bad as long as you homestead your house. If you don't homestead your house, it is awful. But the moment you homestead your house, it is one of the best property taxes ever.
Homestead meaning that's your primary residence?
Yeah, that's your primary residence.
Yeah, see, that's what we have here, where and I forget the rates or whatever, but if it's your primary residence, you pay like my property taxes on my home last year were $180 or some stupid thing, and most of that was like the school taxes that everyone has to pay, but then the next one up, it would be like, I don't know, if it weren't my primary residence, it would have been a lot more. I don't think it would have been 1,000. So I mean, it still would have been less than what it is up north, but it would have been a lot more than I'm paying. So I mean, yeah, people come to an area and go, this place is great. I'm going to try to make it more like the place I fled in fear because it was terrible there.
Because I hated how much I was spending there, but
I hated how terrible it was. But
I hated all of that, but I'm going to bring that here. Yeah, this
is what democracy looks like.
I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I was talking with somebody. We were getting into a political discussion, and he was hammered. So
okay.
First, I'm going to say he was hammered. So he was going straw man argument all the way. So I decided that I was going to do that back.
Just give it back to him.
I couldn't talk logic to him. He was too drunk to understand logic. So that way I was like, well, I'm just going to straw man him, and I'll have to figure out how to win this way. And he was talking about how democracy was the greatest system in the world. And I was like, okay. And he was like, but we don't live in a democracy. He goes, yeah, we do. I was like, no, we live in a constitutional republic. It's different.
Right.
And he was like, well, same thing. Still like a democracy, it's still a democracy and blah, blah, blah.
Right,
And I was like, okay, well, are you a fan of democracy? And he said, yeah, I'm a huge fan of democracy. I was like, okay, so you're a fan of gang rape. And he looked at me like, what?
If you're going to straw man me, I'm going to accuse you of gang raping people.
That's right. I was like, what? It's more of the people involved in that situation are in favor of that situation.
Right.
And I understand what you're doing here, but no, like, obviously this is different.
We're not raping anyone yet, so stop accusing us of rape. That hasn't happened yet. Although, in a roundabout way, we did vote for politicians who put people in airports who, I guess rape is a strong word, but they definitely violate our genitals for the crime of wanting to get on an airplane and go to another place.
That's true.
In the airplane. So
it's at least assault.
It's definitely a sexual assault. Like if I were to say to someone like, hey, you make me feel unsafe, and then I just reach up in there, I hope everyone got the action there. You can't, it's not rape, it's not rape, but it's definitely sexual assault.
Right.
So.
It is assault of some sort.
It is a form of assault that includes at least one set of genitals.
Right.
And so I have to think that that's sexual something. It's definitely genital assault. And we at the Muddied Waters of Freedom are strictly against genital assault. For any reason.
Very strongly against genital assault of any kind.
Yeah, I think it was Franklin who said he who would give up his genitals for some security deserves neither. I think that was Franklin, right?
That was definitely
that was a Franklin quote.
That's definitely a Franklin quote.
New segue.
Speaking of people
of genitals, how about that Kavanaugh hearing, huh? What?
Oh, that Kavanaugh hearing was an assault on my everything. Except for my genitals. It was an assault on everything else of my body except my genitals.
Oh man.
Yeah. So did you watch the beginning of that?
I watched the people getting arrested, which was my favorite part.
Yeah, no, that was definitely the best part.
That's what I tune in for. I'm like, who got it? Did anyone get arrested? All right, let me see that. I saw that. I saw that some people dressed up like the Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Which I've never actually seen.
But
my understanding is that it's about Republicans getting elected. I don't, and everyone dresses like they're Amish. I really don't know. I just know it's about Republicans because I'm told that often. That's what that show's about. And so I saw the Handmaid's Tale cosplay happening up in the upper deck. And then I saw people getting arrested and yelling, you will not stop us. And I'm like, looks like they're stopping you. Actually, I think your chanting's not working. But yeah, I saw that, and I saw the So I think you saw more than you actually watched the hearing itself, right?
Well, I watched a good portion of it. C-SPAN kept going down on me today, so after a while, I just kind of gave up on it, because I was like, well, I'll find out. I'll find out what happened.
Right.
Because I will. But yeah, Kamala Harris and Cory Booker and some other guy whose name I can't remember off the top of my head because I should have made notes and I didn't.
Are you talking about Chuck Schumer or
was that Chuck Schumer?
I don't know.
I don't think it was Schumer.
Okay.
Maybe it was. I don't know. I was just waking up when that was starting because yes, I wake up that late. And they were the guy that was leading it, Mr. Batman. God, what is that guy's name? I was really
Mr. Batman?
Mr. Batman. That guy has been in he was in The Dark Knight Rises, The Dark Knight, Batman vs Superman, and Batman and Robin.
And he's a senator?
He's the head of the Judicial Committee. He's been in Congress since 1974, I believe.
Oh, Pat Leahy?
No, Chuck Grassley.
Oh, Grassley. Okay.
Maybe. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, he's been in like 4 or 5 Batman movies. So he's Mr. Batman to me.
As Chuck Grassley or as like an extra?
One of them he was as himself.
Okay.
So, in The Dark Knight, when the Joker holds the knife up to the guy's face and he goes, "You want to know how I got these scars?" And yeah, that's him.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know who he was in the others. I just know that's who he was in that one.
That is an interesting factoid that I was not aware of. So anyway, you saw Chuck Grassley,
right?
And what did he do?
So he was attempting to do his best to like have a normal hearing, and he was like, "Yeah, we're here today. Very boring. We're here today to confirm Brett Kavanaugh for Supreme Court." And then out of left field, you got Kamala Harris and Cory Booker going, "I move to adjourn. We must adjourn. We got 41,000 pages worth of new stuff to look at, and we move to adjourn this entire proceedings." And he was like, "Well, this isn't an executive hearing, so that's out of order." And then somebody else moved to adjourn, even though same argument. And then he was like, "Look, we got over what was it? 500,000 pages of documents to look over. Sorry about the 41,000 that got here yesterday,
right?
But really, you should have already made up your mind. And actually, all of you already said you made up your mind anyway."
Well, that's the other thing. Like, this is all theater. Everyone is, it's like, okay, I'm a Democrat. Okay, oh yeah, no, and
right.
I'm a Republican. Yes,
yes.
Like I the whole theater behind this is such a joke.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm the resident anarcho-capitalist here, and I love all of this because It's like, I like to say it's like watching Game of Thrones, except the characters can actually hurt me, and do often,
Right.
as like we were talking about with the genitals earlier,
I mean,
and
that's not
so these
really
are,
hurting. That's just more like emotional scarring.
I mean, sometimes they're rough. Like, I mean,
They've always been quite gentle with me.
oh, see, I think there's something about me that makes TSA agents, um, aggressive, specifically with my genitals. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, so seeing like this whole like, oh, we can't believe that you did what we would do if it was us in charge. And then the other guy goes, the other side is like, oh, we can't believe that you are holding up this thing that we would hold up if you were in charge. Like, and but everyone has to do it. And I guess the part that I find funny is the number of people on both sides who are so avidly, like, the politicians are just playing their role and know that they're just playing their role. The people that are there getting arrested and getting like records, criminal records over, losing their minds at a hearing, they think this is legit, that like this is a real struggle and that something he's going to get confirmed because
Right.
there's a certain number of Republicans, and that's the end of that.
And truly, some of these people, they got arrested, and it was difficult to hear them, but I believe this is what they were saying. Kavanaugh. And I was like, really? You're getting arrested for that. Like, at least be more Kavanaugh. Like, you can be more original than that.
You would think so. You
Right?
would hope so. Yeah.
I mean, they are
One would
going
hope.
and protesting at the Supreme Court. They're going to protest a Supreme Court nomination. So, I mean, maybe not.
And
But-
this guy is like, this is not there's like, I mean, this is like John Roberts again. Like, I mean, this is not an extremist. I mean, they're going to paint him as an extremist or whatever.
Yeah,
He's pretty
100%.
much a down the road neocon / neoliberal. If you like how the court is now, then you get to keep your court or whatever.
Right.
If you like your Supreme Court, you can keep your Supreme Court. Because I mean, he's not like, I think Gorsuch was kind of a move towards a slightly more libertarianish bent than Scalia, but this guy is, I mean, he's replacing a I guess somewhat right-leaning centrist
Yeah, I was
with
going to say very middle of the road.
Yeah, I mean, maybe instead of a right-leaning centrist, he's a centrist-leaning right-winger. Like, I mean, this is not the theatrics of all of this are just. And I remember what it was like being a partisan Republican, and right now I would be like, explaining why Kavanaugh is going to make things great again, and that he's all of the problems that are in the Supreme Court are going to get fixed by this, and Trump is playing multi-dimensional chess with this appointment.
He
and
is
all
beyond 4D chess at this time.
There are dimensions that shouldn't even be possible in this chess game that Trump is playing with the world. And it's just funny to me that people are still. I did it for a good solid, not quite decade, where I was like, yeah, the Republicans are going to fix this. And even when I get pissed off at them, the new crop of Republicans would come in and be like, yeah, Ted Cruz and Rand Paul are going to fix this.
Cruz, Rand Paul, Paul Ryan, they're going to fix
Paul
all
Rand.
of it.
Paul Rand 2012, everyone. And Paul Rand 2016, everyone. Oh, Trump? Oh, well, damn.
Yeah.
So, I just, I think it's funny to watch, but I'm thoroughly, I am, when I no longer cared who won, because I thought they were all essentially the same, that made life a lot more enjoyable. And it made politics a lot more enjoyable for me, because now I get to just sit back and watch people alternate between being mad and being happy that the other side's mad. And,
or being mad at the other side for slowing them down a little bit. Like, it's just
it's like, how dare you?
How dare you? These proceedings mean something. No, they don't. Like, he's gonna get through. Like, they don't. Like, all of this, all of it's theater.
It is. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love every second of it. So if you want to resist, if you are listening to this and wish to #resist #Kavanaugh, I support you. I don't support you in any, like, I'm not going to help with your bail or anything, but I support
Which
watching
in California, there's no more bail, so.
Oh yeah.
So if you're going to protest, go to California.
If you're going to hashtag resist, hashtag Kavanaugh, head on over to hashtag California and do your thing, and you'll still have a criminal record, but you won't have to pay bail. And I will watch the hell out of that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I
will definitely watch that. I'll watch that really hard, and that doesn't help you in any way, but I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, we'll put it on the show.
Oh, we will definitely. We will. I will. Instead of talking during the intro, we'll play the sound of your getting arrested over the intro music, and everyone can enjoy that together.
We'll play the video instead of our "Please Stand By."
Yeah, that'll be the "Please Stand By." Is you getting arrested? Hashtag resisting.
Yeah.
So we're all about that.
Yeah.
So
actually, if you just want to give us any video of you being arrested, I'll play that over the intro. Totally happy doing that.
You know what? That could be our thing. Is like just arrest videos and us reacting to people getting arrested. And it would be under the so what I'm looking for. It would be under the guise that, oh well, we're libertarians, so we're watching this because we're totally against getting arrested.
Right.
And we're like, we don't support this, but it would really just like be us enjoying watching people get arrested for like but not like, so I think it'd be two things. If you get arrested for like murder, I'll be like, okay, well maybe you shouldn't have murdered that person. But if it's like you get arrested for hashtag resisting, I'm probably going to chuckle a little.
Right. I will absolutely chuckle a little bit if you get arrested for a hashtag resisting.
And it's a tough one for me because you have the right to do that. And, it's wrong that they've created free speech zones and, you get arrested for protesting. But I might still chuckle a little. Guilty pleasure. It's again, Game of Thrones. I watch people on Game of Thrones, they're murdering each other, and I go, I bet you didn't think that was going to happen. And I don't sit there and go, well, his due process has been violated. Like I take the entertainment value for what it is. I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man, and I have simple pleasures.
I'm going to attempt to make a Game of Thrones reference, even though I've never seen it. But
nice.
Prince Tyrion.
Tyrion, yes, Tyrion.
Prince Tyrion didn't read him his Miranda rights before he cut his head off. So
exactly. Like you gotta. I don't think Tyrion's actually killed anyone, but
really?
No, that's not true. He killed his dad. So when he killed his dad, he didn't read him his rights.
No.
The guy was on the toilet.
Hashtag spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen it.
Right, exactly. So
he Elvised him?
The Elvis thing?
He killed him on the toilet.
Was Elvis killed on the toilet?
Well,
Elvis killed him. Well,
depends on which conspiracy theory you want to listen to. I mean, he probably just died on the toilet because he was mixing benzos with speed. But
right,
I mean, sure, he killed him.
He was killed by Big Pharma on the toilet.
You're right.
GlaxoSmithKline killed our friend Elvis on the toilet. Very sad.
I know that we had one.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I know we have one other thing written down, but I didn't write it down.
Speaking of being killed on the toilet, incidentally enough, Nike.
That's it.
Let's talk about Nike.
Let's
Matt.
talk Nike.
I want to talk about Nike.
Good old Nikkei.
Just do it.
Right.
So it turns out Nike is a sports apparel franchise.
Yeah, I believe. I believe they sell shoes.
They sell shoes and various other sports clothing and accessories. And so what the Nike Corporation did, there's a guy by the name of Colin Kaepernick, and old Cap, and he's been protesting the police brutality, or he was when he was playing football, and
I'm certain he still is. It's just it's not in the news anymore.
Right. Well, he's not on a team anymore, right?
Like, right. Nobody signed him. But I'm certain he's still protesting. It's just nobody cares.
He's still protesting. He's just not at the football field anymore.
Right.
He's not playing football.
Might be outside.
So he was he was outside. So he's on his knee during the Star Spangled Banner, And he did that as a protest to police brutality and systemic what have you, and systemic what have you. And he supposedly the way he came up with the kneel was he was just gonna not do any, he was gonna sit there. And then I guess he spoke with a veteran who supported him, who said, "Oh, well, if you kneel, that shows deference to those who died," for the song, apparently. And we'll get into that later. But so he does this. Everyone's pissed off at him. Everyone hates him, or loves him. It's sort of
it's one way or the other with him.
You have to, yeah.
You're picking a side with him, and you either hate him or you love him.
Yeah, you have to. You have to have a very strong feeling about good old Kaepernick. And so he didn't get signed. Some say it's because he was kind of washed up and wasn't playing well anymore. Some say it was because of the protest or whatever. And so he's not doing it anymore. So now Nike has signed him for some ad campaign. Supposedly, from what I read, it's not just an ad campaign. He's getting his own branded clothing, and it's gonna be a big deal. Like, he's probably gonna make more money on this than he ever made playing football.
Yeah, they signed him to a huge deal.
Yeah, it's a big thing. And from what I've read, because when I look at this stuff, my first thought, being Jewish, is how's this going to look for its stock value? And so I was reading about the different stuff, and that there is a boycott movement, but that most of the boycott movement is not their actual target demo, and that their target demo is absolutely overjoyed with it, that this could actually be a big play for them to retain and increase their already dominant market share. So I know their stock value went down like 3% on a day that the market overall went down a little bit, and other apparel companies went down.
They lost roughly about $4 billion today.
Right. So here's what that means, because again, I'm Jewish. They're talking about, if you take their stock value, they didn't actually lose money, right? Like that, they didn't actually lose. No. They don't have a bank account that had $8 billion in it. Now it has $4 billion. Their estimated market cap, based on basically the number of shares that they have times what their share value is, has gone down by $4 billion. What that means is that their stock price went down 3% today. So that sounds a lot less dramatic than saying it the 4 billion way, right? Like if their stock goes up 2% tomorrow, you say they gained $4 billion. Not really.
Right. It's kind of like when Bitcoin tanked and went from 20,000 down to whatever to 7. Like
7.
Everybody, there were people that, like, nobody's lost any money or gained any money from that, because none of that happens until you cash out.
Right. They had the same amount of Bitcoin. Exactly. Right. And so it's like, Bitcoin's market cap went down to whatever. And I mean, it's true. They're not saying anything untrue, but it sounds more dramatic to say Nike lost $4 billion than to say Nike lost 2%. Right. But anyway, so I personally think that long term, this is going to be good or neutral for them, just because their target demo likes this, and the people that don't like this. In fact, most of the people I saw today talking angrily about it made sure everyone knew that they didn't own any Nike, and which was like, okay, well then, in no way does this affect them. Like, your proclamation of utter patriotism has zero effect on their bottom line. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm very interested to see how it plays out.
What I was really enjoying was the people who were like burning the shoes they already paid for, or cutting up the socks they already paid for. And I was like, you understand they already have your money. Like, the socks now, they don't care what you do with them.
They don't care what you do. In fact, if you destroy it enough, you're back in the market for some socks.
That's right.
And when no one's looking, and you're back at Macy's and or Walmart or wherever your sock provider is, you're up at the old Target, and no one's looking, and you see the new Kaepernick socks are out. Maybe, I think at least a couple of them are gonna. If anything, that doesn't hurt Nike's bottom line, and if anything, at least 5% of those people are going to end up buying some Nikes. So I think that's fine. Then there was one I saw, I don't know if it's real, but supposedly this guy tweeted what's the show? There's a radio show. John Boy and Billy or something like that.
Sure.
Anyway,
for the sake of this, it's John Boy and Billy.
We're the new John Boy and Billy.
Which one's? Never. I don't even care which one's which.
I'll be either one. I'm good with that. Yeah. So anyway, what with some radio show or something was encouraging people to destroy their Nike gear and tweet it in, and so someone tweeted a picture of them burning their shoes while they were wearing them, and then tweeted a picture of their deformed, burned feet, and said, "I'm at the hospital." So I don't know. Obviously, these photos were real. Someone did burn their shoes and ended up in the hospital. I don't know if it's true that they burned them in this protest, because that would make it even funnier. But prayers for a speedy healing, of course. Give it away. Like, if you don't want Nike gear, if Nike has so offended you by hiring Colin Kaepernick, maybe like give the Nike to someone who needs clothes or something.
Like, don't donate them. Like, Nike's already gotten the money for it.
Right. In fact, you're hurt. If someone's in the market for Nike and you're like, hey, here's some free Nike, you have just cost Nike a sale.
Valid. Very valid. But it doesn't make any sense to destroy it. Like, the money's already, that's like when they, I don't remember which group was doing it. Somebody was destroying Keurig machines.
Oh, yeah.
And they were destroying the Keurig machines they already owned. And I was like, he already has the money for the Keurig machine. Now you're just out a Keurig machine.
And that's Nike, there's a lot of alternatives to Nike.
There's one.
If you've got a bunch of coffee pods, you're probably going to have to get a Keurig machine. Like, that's like, you got to burn through those coffee pods. And, you pretty much have guaranteed
that you're 75 cents a pop. Like,
you're not giving up on the coffee pods. You're definitely going to use those. And, so now you're just, I guess, borrowing someone else's Keurig, or you're buying a new one. So that was real dumb. I was waiting for people to smash their Harleys when Harley announced that they were moving all of their base of production overseas because of the Trump tariffs.
Right.
I was waiting for people. Oddly enough, no one smashed their Harleys. Interesting.
Man, I am trying to come up with a really inappropriate joke, but I cannot think of any celebrity that died on a Harley.
What about smashing Harleys?
Yeah. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I almost said Paul Walker, but he died, I think, in a Porsche.
Wow.
Yeah. That's just where my brain went.
He knew about the tariffs that were coming.
He knew in advance.
Visionary man.
Steve McQueen, he knew all about the tariffs coming, which is why he got lung cancer.
Jimmy Dean, not Jimmy Dean.
James Dean.
James Dean. Well, I'm sure someone called him Jimmy.
I'm certain. He had an uncle, Jimmy.
Jimmy. Well, there is Jimmy Dean sausage.
There is Jimmy Dean sausage.
But as far as I know, did he die? Jimmy Dean? Oh, he did. Jimmy Dean died June 13th, 2010, because of the tariffs.
Yeah.
Thanks. Welcome to Trump's America, everybody.
Are you talking about Jimmy Dean or James Dean?
No, I'm talking about Jimmy Dean.
Oh, okay.
James Dean died a long time ago.
He died in 1955, driving a 1955 Porsche Speedster.
And the German tariffs.
Yeah. I believe he was on Melrose when that accident happened. Not 100% sure.
He was on what?
Melrose. Or no, Mulholland. Sorry. I think he was on Mulholland Drive in LA.
The roads. He was on the roads.
He was on the roads.
Where are your precious roads now, America?
I know. We would still have James Dean with us today.
If it weren't for your damn roads. You people and your damn roads. What about the roads? Oh, I don't know. Ask James Dean about the roads. Ask him about your damn tariffs too.
Also,
because
Paul Walker, public roads, public street lamp. Granted, he was doing like 120, but
on the road.
On the roads.
On the roads.
That's right.
I saw how he drove in Fast and Furious, largely not on roads, and he was fine.
He was good. He was
one road, roads, not even once.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know that we had one other issue to talk about that wasn't that one. We talked about it yesterday, I think.
The tropical storm.
Yeah. What?
Are you okay?
See, I don't know about a tropical storm that was supposed to hit us.
So then you are okay.
Yeah, no, totally fine.
Okay.
I haven't lost power. I've been out doing stuff every day. It's been raining, but
that was the tropical storm.
Wow.
When it rained a little, that was the tropical storm. I'm glad to hear you're okay.
Yeah, no,
if you can mark yourself as safe later. But there was a tropical storm, Gordon. I think it's called tropical storm.
Really?
Our friend Gordon, he came up from Panama and wound around Cuba and then came up and did. That's not tropical storm Gordon. That's a hurricane Gordon from a long time ago. I was gonna say, wait,
I was like, is this a real thing? Because I mean, it's just raining like a normal amount for Florida right now.
Yeah. So the thing I looked at just scared me because it looked like it was beelining right towards us and South Carolina, and I'm like, oh crap. Yeah. So tropical storm Gordon is now headed to the northern Gulf Coast. So the area is ravaged by Katrina and Rita and whatever happened last year. So prayers for them. Glad Matt's okay.
Yeah, 100%. Everything's great on my end. I mean, if anybody else in Florida got hit, that's really news to me, and that's weird because I'm typically on top of that stuff.
Yeah, I think it was not very intense because no one. Every time I ask someone in Florida, are you okay? And they'll say yes. Why? And I'll say because of the tropical storm. And they'll say, what does that mean? And so it's
in all fairness, it's just a tropical storm. Not that concerned. If it's not a Cat 3 or higher, I feel not even worth mentioning.
Cat 2 is when I start to be concerned, and only because I'm so close to the shore. Our house is like, I don't know, a quarter mile from the beach. So the Cat 5 or Cat 2, I start to think twice, but I'll still stick around. If it's a Cat 3 or Cat 4, like if we have another Hugo or something, I will leave. But tropical storm, I still at least ask if people are okay, because some people, especially if they're transplants, they don't know how to handle themselves.
Right.
But yeah, this happened, and it's already. I'm looking now. It's already. This thing moved fast. It's already in Alabama. So prayers for Alabama and Mississippi and part of Louisiana. And I'm glad that Florida's okay.
Yeah. I'm glad Florida. I'm had no idea we had a storm. It did rain a lot last night, which I thought was kind of odd. So maybe that was
tropical storm.
That was our tropical storm.
That was the tropical storm.
It was a big storm. It went from Key West up to us, and I was like, man, that's a big one. Okay.
Well, it was a tropical storm.
It was a tropical storm. Yeah. It was bigger than big. It was tropical.
It was tropical.
Do we have anything else today?
No. I think that's it. Hashtag Matandis, of course.
Oh yeah, well yeah, always hashtag Matandis. Candace Owens,
guys,
I am here. I am single and ready to mingle with Candace Owens.
Specifically with Candace Owens. Here's the thing, guys. At Muddied Waters Media, we recognize that Matt Wright has been created by God.
Yeah.
To be the ideal partner for anyone, but especially for Candace Owens.
Specifically for Candace Owens.
Specifically Candace Owens. And we recognize that really at this point, Candace is just denying herself the opportunity, I guess we'll call it, to complete herself in the way that the good Lord intended. And so we here want to end that injustice ASAP. And so Candace, or any close friends of Candace, or anyone,
I'm certain somebody that watches us,
someone who watches this show has to know Candace,
Candace,
or at least be able to message her and get a response.
Right, because we can't.
Because we can't.
'Cause she just ignores our phone calls.
Yeah, ours are just read.
Right.
I've just been read.
Oh, have they been read?
I was read,
Oh.
which is kind of more of a sting.
I know that.
If they hadn't been read, it'd be like, she's busy.
Right. But the fact that she read it, I mean, that hurts me on the inside, because she was probably like, "Who's Matt?" and looked it up and went, "Doesn't he know I'm dating somebody?"
Yeah, and it wasn't open, and that's irrelevant. It wasn't an open-ended thing. I was asking questions.
Right. I mean, you were just asking for which hashtag she preferred.
Which hashtag would you like? And we ended up having to go with Matandis because
she had no
weren't
input.
Getting the feedback we needed from her. So the big thing here, guys, is that I think we really need to ramp this up. And so once you're done hashtag resisting, hashtag Kavanaugh, and you're looking for a new way to get arrested, maybe next time you're screaming at Candace Owens at the old Second Cup or Starbucks or wherever that was,
right.
You can Dunkin' Donuts, wherever that was. You can.
That was a spot in Philly. It was a breakfast spot in Philly called, I don't remember the name of it. I've eaten there before. It's good.
Oh wow! See, more confirmation. These are star-crossed lovers.
I know our paths have been crossing.
The paths are just—it's almost parallel, but just a little.
Right, we intertwining.
A little delayed. Yeah.
Right, we've just been intertwining for.
So the next time, guys, that you're out there screaming at Candace Owens, maybe put in a good word for Matt. Right. Maybe first of all, maybe stop screaming at her.
Yeah, please, because
that's not going to help.
Right, that's not going to help my cause even a little bit. Just hey, have you heard hashtag Matandis? And exactly. When she's going to say yes. I mean, it's all. We have been pushing it quite hard.
Oh, if she hasn't heard about it, then that's really a failure on her part.
Oh, yeah,
honestly.
That's how I see it. That's definitely how I see it.
So that's how I see it. And so, maybe instead of screaming F white supremacy, and also I'm white and you're black, but F white supremacy by your existence.
I was going to say F white supremacy at a black woman.
At a black woman, me being a white person. Maybe instead of that, just go up to her nicely and say, "Hey, clearly you've heard of hashtag Matandis. What do you think of that?" And what, I'm not saying she has to respond to my message, because this isn't about me. This is about Matt.
She can message me directly.
You can message Candace. You can message Matt. You can slide up in his DMs,
right?
Because I'm not even on Instagram, so I have no DMs up in which to slide. But
I mean, she could slide up into the Muddied Waters DMs if she wanted to.
Yeah,
it is really the easiest place to find me.
Yeah, that's another good opportunity to reach Matt there. Really, you can reach Matt in a myriad of ways. You don't have to respond to me. This isn't about my ego. I'm a secure guy, and I'm also married. So probably just as well don't. I was just letting you know.
And apparently, we have slid up into Candace's DMs on the Instagram, and she.
Oh.
Yeah, she has not responded to that message either. It had to do with a story about a salad. And I was like, was there shellfish in that salad, or was she just insane? I figured that'd be a good opener because, it had to do with her life.
Because I'm deathly allergic to shellfish.
Well, right. And somebody on the train was going off on her friend for having a salad and, getting very angry at her about the salad. Okay. So I was like, was there at least shellfish in it, or was she just nuts?
Candace, how much longer do you want to go through life getting screamed at by radical leftists,
right,
without a strapping young man named Matt?
That's right. I've been going to the gym. I've been working out. Been getting.
I totally see it. I see the gains. And so
I've been getting that beach body back for protecting you from radical leftists.
Exactly. This is no 90-pound weakling, Matt. This is hardcore gains, Matt.
That's right.
And hardcore gains, Matt is ready to defend you on every level, intellectually, and with physical brute force. And so, you know, as opposed to what's his name, who just you know makes bad memes pretty much. And so
And he supports gun control. So
yeah, he's for gun control.
right, he's for gun control. I mean,
Charlie
he didn't
Kirk is
say
for gun control.
he didn't say that he supports new gun control. He just said that we need to enforce the gun control on the books. And I'm like, well, yeah, except maybe we should just get rid of this.
Let's burn that book and then enforce what's on the books.
Right.
Or even all the books.
Right. Just get rid of all of the books.
But the thing is, I don't care that Charlie Kirk thinks that.
No.
I care that he thinks that and is dating Candace.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. According to my wife.
Right. I was like, we actually
do we have any confirmation besides my wife that he's dating?
Somebody else asked me, I was talking to them about Matandis, and they were like, they looked at me and, isn't she dating that one guy? And I was, nah, I don't think so. I Googled it, and no relationship to be found. So, and if it's not on Google.
Yeah, if it's not on Google, then what does my wife know?
Right.
I mean, hers was a sixth sense thing, but so far, my wife has a good stooping sense. And she can usually tell if there's some stooping happening.
Right.
And
there may be stooping.
There might be some stooping, but here's the thing. You haven't really... Candace, I'm not going to say that.
I was like, I have a feeling I know where that one's going.
Have you really stooped yet? I dare say not, actually. I'm not gonna continue that thought.
Right. I was like,
back to saying that this is a good thing. So we're gonna wait for Candace's people to get in touch with Matt, and we're gonna make that happen.
And they, I've got multiple DMs, and you can slide into any of those DMs.
There are many opportunities.
Yeah, tons of places. You like, for instance, you could slide into my DMs at Instagram.com/Muddied Waters of Freedom, or you could slide into my DMs at Facebook.com/Muddied Waters of Freedom, or on the Twitter at Muddied_Waters. Just DM right there. Or you can, I don't want to say this for certain, but I'm like 95% certain that we have a sign-up sheet on muddiedwatersoffreedom.com, and you could just slide in and send me a little message that way and be like, hey, yeah, this is Candace. I've been noticing all of your videos and the hashtag, which I find to be very, very flattering. And and I feel as though we should definitely go out on a date.